Well, hey everybody, how's it going? What's up? Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I had to go pick up my daughter from Girl Scout day camp. She was one of the staff kids this year, so had some extra responsibilities, and camp ran a little bit later. I had to pull her early so I can make it back in time for this shindig. And boy, do I have some good stuff to talk about today. Some really good stuff to talk about today. And we're doing a giveaway, so don't run off after 20 minutes of me talking about Blade Show. We're going to talk about more than just Blade Show, and but Blade Show was so much fun. Like last year being my first year was great, but this year, yeah, it was just as good, if not a little bit better. It was definitely better in the fact that I got to meet and hang out with the one and only G-Ball. Yeah, him and his wife were there, and they were. It was so great. It was so great spending time with G-Ball, and I do have a video that I just posted yesterday. If you haven't seen it, of all the things I got, everything that I picked up at Blade Show this year. So if you haven't checked out that video showing all the new knives, which I, as soon as I got home, ordered a little bit more paracord and some lanyard beads so that I could add some doodads to some of them, and some doodads to others. But yeah, check that out. Check out that bead on my new Nimble W that John gave me. No, sharp guy. I was not taking a shit at Bucky's. Yes, brand new. I am doing a giveaway, and I somehow you end up pulling out more wins with that than anybody else. So at least I know where to send it. Let's see who all else is up in here. Ground Fog, how you doing? Again, sorry I'm late. Joe, how are you? Ed Harrison. Ed Harrison was a blast as always, and he is part of one of today's Blade Show stories. So, in fact, we'll go ahead and give me a second. We'll dive into that. But here I added. This is the new paracord that I ordered off of Amazon. It's like an ice blue, which is pretty sweet. And then one of the beads that I got, and this guy absolutely loved this knife with the fist bump, and the fist bumps on both sides. So how about that? Yeah, fist. Real cool. I wasn't actually even intending to buy this knife. Totally forgot. I had seen their both last year, something obscene, and like I looked at their stuff, but then I just had other things in mind, other things I was interested in last year, and but this year they were like, their booth was right at the beginning, right when you came in the one room, the smaller room, and this one just jumped out at me, and yeah, I had to have it. I didn't have any other knives that I was wanting really bad. Yeah, that was kind of the big difference for me this year's show versus last year's show. Last year I had like 4 knives that were like, I was pretty much rushing from one table to the other to pick up those 4 main knives. This year I only had the one. There was only one knife that was of full desire to get, and that was this bad boy, the Knoll Knives Voodoo, dressed up with the black micarta and stone washed hollow grind. And I'm telling you, the Voodoo, out of all the handfuls of hollow grind blades that I have, I think this one is in the top 3 as far as, or even the top 2 as far as thinness behind the edge. It's so insanely thin behind this edge. Absolutely nuts. And yeah, like the first 4 or 5 things that I cut with this sucker, I was like, yeah. I was like, damn. Woo. Yes. And the other funny thing is I found myself gravitating this year, Blade Show, and just this year in general, more towards the harpoon topped Warncliffe shaped blades. Yeah, I'm digging the harpoons lately. I don't know why. I don't really understand why, but I am. And it's good. It's all good. My main thing is just the edge geometry. I love a more flat edge, a long flat edge with your sheep's foots having a little bit of just the tiniest bit of belly, but for most part, the flat edges is just so much better, so much more useful for opening packages and boxes and cutting tape and all that crap, zip ties and everything. I love, but I still go for the others, right? I still go for the others. Here's the Meerkat, which I also put that same ice blue paracord uh, job done, and the pack of beats that I picked up off of Amazon, it was like 14-15 bucks, and you got 3 of them. You got a black one, the copper brassy one, and then this silver one. So I matched up the silver one with the ice blue on the Meerkat, and I think that's a good mashup. So, and then of course the brass one I did on the on the EMP EDC, and the name of this knife is called the Lek. If anybody doesn't know or was curious, now the Lek has 2 meanings. One of y'all pull up BNA, pull up what Lek, Leck, or is it CK or just K? Let me look. I'll pull it up. I think it's just LEK, or is it CK? Like meaning. Yeah, LECK. There's there's 2 meanings to the word. One being a little risque. It's has to do with is basically flirting, just very sexual flirtatious behavior is what it leans towards. And then the other version of the word, meaning of the word, is money. I forget what language it translates for. But anyways, it's the Meerkat's made by Max Ace, and still, as much as I like the Meerkat, the best Max Ace knife that's out there, in my opinion, is the Black Mirror. The Black Mirror is bar none my favorite Max Ace knife. It's really good ergos, wonderful blade shape, and M390 in titanium. The milling's fantastic, just all around super good knife. The access to the liner or to the frame lock is unbelievably like you got plenty of, I don't care how fat your sausages are, that is so easy to get to that frame lock. The cutout on the 1 scale is more than enough to give you access to it. More than enough. Way more than enough. Oh, I have hold on. Be right back. Give me a sec. I gotta change shirts here. I have a new shirt. Given to me, graciously given to me by the one and only Beard of Doom. And the shirt is his new knife, the Soul Stone. Woo! The Soul Stone. And I guess this is why he wanted me to dress up as a wizard. That's why he wanted me to dress up as a wizard in my wizard costume that I did for the other weekend. It was because he probably was gonna, if I had put on the wizard costume, he would have like tried to get me to hang out at the table that he was at to try to use that to promote his knife a little bit more. But yeah, no, this is a cool shirt. Look at that. That's a badass doomy wizard right there. Yeah, yeah, a little dark and mysterious. And it's a good shirt. It's not 100% cotton, which is like a no death trap down here in the southeast with our humidity. You do not want shirts that are 100% cotton. It's got a good polyester blend to it. So yeah, it's a nice good quality shirt. Very comfortable. I washed it and I got some lint on it from something that got washed. So I'm gonna have to wash it again because I don't know what was in that washer and dryer that caused all this shirt to pick up all that lint. But oof. So let me pull up. It's on it's on YouTube, and it is Said Stevie's video. This if you haven't seen this video in its entirety, it is freaking hilarious. His thing. But I'm gonna take you guys to the one part and provide some context for what was going on and how hilarious this shit went down. Oh, it's not this video. Hold on. I clicked on the wrong one. Don't think it's this video either. That's the pre. Where's the post Blade show? I think it's this one. I think it's Stevie Does Blade show. Yeah. Yeah, it's this one. Is it? What the hell do you want, cat? Bear with me. Hold on. I gotta find the. I should have been a little more prepared, I suppose, for this tidbit. I could have sworn I was in this video. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. I thought it was later in the video when he did it, but no, it's not. Alright. Let me sharesy. Present, share. Alright. Theater mode. There we go. How's that look? Yeah, that's good. That's good enough for y'all. Be able to watch that.
Great Mechanic. We got Scott in. We got Smooth
This was at the.
We got Forrest. We got Grateful
Airbnb,
Panic.
but the other one
And out here,
Vince and all those guys.
Vince.
So here's me leaned over the fire pit, and then there's Vince sitting over there, and Vince, like about 10 minutes before Stevie decided to do this video here, Vince was asking everybody like, "Hey, we should do a fire. Let's go down there. It's a nice little fire ring, lots of seating. We should do a fire. I want a fire." Like he talked up the whole fire thing big, and it's like 84 degrees outside at night, like an hour after the sun went down, and he's wanting a freaking campfire in this fire pit in the backyard. But it's like, whatever. You know what, Vince? Come on, let's go do the fire. So I went down with him, and he and I walked around the back, and I put together a little fire for him. But here,
I was convinced Urban Woodsman to build a fire in the fire pit. And although I did not get it documented, it was very cute. They were out here gathering tinder together. And now Turban Boobsman is now out here building a fire for Vince. Blow, Vince, blow. Oh, look at that.
Wow. You did it.
Way to go, Turban. You got it going, Vince.
Yeah.
What kind of marshmallows do you have? The Stay Puffed or the
ones in the kitchen? I don't know.
The ones soaked in vodka.
All right. Some vodka. What the hell?
You've never had.
And also, is this the code?
I'll give you another.
Okay, so this was kind of like the other joke that was going on the whole freaking weekend between the two Airbnbs. And I don't know how it started, but Stevie, started keeping track and keeping record. It took some photos even of different things that were not to code construction-wise, as far as the way each of these Airbnbs were built. I guess Vince was like talking big about how his Airbnb was better and bigger and had nicer stuff and this and that and other things. So I guess Stevie made it out to where, well, that's not to code. That's not to code. That's not to code. So he was like creating all this, hype about, why Vince's Airbnb was not to code. Therefore, Stevie's Airbnb is the better Airbnb. In all defense, the house that they stayed at was a little bit nicer of a house. It had a much nicer backyard. The fire pit was kind of cool. We did enjoy sitting down. That was taken Sunday night, or no, Saturday night. Saturday night. We all went. The rest of us went over to their Airbnb, and and yeah, we did the little campfire and hung out down there for a little while, part of the evening. But then Sunday night I went back over I stayed at a hotel where I didn't have to deal with anybody snoring, and I didn't have to deal with Stevie. Stevie likes to pick on me, and he knows that I'm good with it. He knows that I can take it, and I don't mind. It's what makes Stevie, and he's hilarious when he does it, and it just, he brings another element to the party of how much fun we all had. So experiencing Blade Show without Stevie would not be the same. It would not be the same. He is just such a fun guy. such a cool dude that just and I can't imagine Blade Show without him. I really can't. So going back to the whole fire thing and everything, with what happened there. So after Stevie teased Vince about what kind of marshmallows he's got, in which I mentioned, the best marshmallows are the ones that are soaked in vodka. I mean, I was just throwing something at Stevie to see what he would do with that. If he would make a joke out of that, vodka soaked marshmallows, but he didn't. That's all right. Good to see you, Maddie. Thanks for showing up. It was definitely more hot and humid this year. Yeah. And around 5:30, about an hour and 15 minutes. Go away. I forgot where I was at. Yeah, this year was definitely hotter and more humid than last year, which I am very grateful that I opted not to do the whole camping thing, because that would have I would have been definitely more miserable if I had camped. No, the hotel did just fine, served its purpose well. I actually chilled after Thursday, after going over to the Galleria Center to pick up our wristbands for tickets. I went back to the hotel and actually dunked into the pool because it had gotten hot that day already at that point. And then met up with the gang for dinner after that. Friday we went to the pit, and I forget what his YouTube handle name was, but one of the guys had out on the table, he had one of those massive knife rolls of about 60 to 70 some pocket knives, and he had like one or two fixed blades. And I'm telling you, he had probably $50,000 on the table, easily $50,000 on the table. I mean, he had Striders, he had Hinderers, he had some Sabenzas, a couple of Sabenzas, and he had customs, like gorgeous customs of names, designers that I don't even know, custom makers that I don't even know. I think his most expensive knife was like $2,300. Yeah, $2,300. I think the least expensive knife he had there was like $190, like almost $200. Yeah, he had a lot of money on the table, and a lot in some really, really cool knives. They were sweet. One of I sat down and I had a conversation with him and looked at a bunch of his stuff and talked about a number of his knives, and then I ran off and I went and grabbed Sharif, and I said, Sharif, you got to check this guy's collection out. And supposedly that wasn't even not even a third of what he owns. Like, he only brought about a third of what he owns. So I can only imagine like how much money this guy's invested into these kinds of knives. It blew my mind. Like, whoa. But yeah, G-Ball and his wife were a lot of fun. Ed was hilarious with the whole campfire thing here. When Ed came down from the back deck of the house there, he came down and sat at the fire, and some other and a few others came down and sat down by the fire, and Stevie was so keen on pushing to Ed that this was Vince's fire, that Vince made the fire, even though the better of us knew who built the damn fire. Not that it's making a fire is pretty easy for the majority of us, but it was just funny. It was just like Ed was told firmly that was Vince's fire over and over again. and Ed just went with it. But man, that for like the next hour and a half, between the conversations that came from Vince and the conversations that came from Ed, like, oh, it was so much fun. It was such a fun night. We had a really good time down there. The other fellas that I like re-met and actually got to hang out with and have more conversations with this year was Blessed Knives, Donnie and his brother. God, I'm so terrible with names. What was it? Not Nate. I forget his name. Starts with an N. But yeah, Donnie's him and his brother are so cool. Blessed Knives, and his booth sold out. He sold all of his customs. So congratulations for him. I'm happy for him that he got to do that. That he did so well for Blade Show sales wise. But he was a cool dude. Him and his brother were Ernie. Thank you. Yeah, I said an N. Ernie, Nerdy Ernie. which is how his brother introduced him to me. Was, hey, here's Ernie. He's a big time nerd. yeah, Ernie Bless. And his brother Donnie, and Donnie's the designer, maker. But the two of them came over to the Airbnb that Stevie and Sharif and them were all at, and so that was really cool to spend time with them. And I brought up one of my wood pieces that I had turned on the lathe, and just figured, I'd bring something up and gift it to somebody that I didn't meet the first year, that I enjoyed their companionship this year, and so I gave it to Donnie. So he got an Urban Woodsman turned gift. And when I asked him, I said, hey, I was showing him some pictures of some of the stuff that I had done over the last couple of years, and he was like, yeah, that's really cool. You're really talented. And I said, yeah, well, you want one of them? And he's like, what? So I totally blew his mind that I actually had brought something up there with me. So yeah, that was great. Let's let me quit sharing screen here and represent something else. I have get rid of this other crap that I had pulled up earlier today. Let me find my photos, the small number of photos that I have from Blade Show. I know everybody's been posting all of theirs, and I didn't take very many, and Ed graciously, after bugging the crap out of him, had him send a couple that he took. Move that one, and move. What are the other ones? This one and this one. And I'm moving these photos from one folder to another so that I can open up the folder and show just those photos to you guys and not everything else. But yeah, G-Ball and his wife were a lot of fun. A lot of fun to hang out with. Really had a good time with them. I did hang out, and it wasn't the first thing I did, but I did get around to the Condor booth and hung out with Joe Flowers for just a little bit. Got to catch up with him on what he's been doing in his latest jungle adventures and all the fun he has doing that. You know, new machetes that he's been testing out. Yeah, Ed was the photographer for Blade Show. He was one of the big ones, I think, as far as our groups. Took over 50 pictures. Yeah, that's quite a bit, Ed. Where the hell did the ones that hold on. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I pulled some of them over, but not all of them. Why? You gonna do that? The skateboard was a hit. It took me all 3 days or 4 days, including the day that I went over there to pick up my wristband. But it took the whole trip for me to finally figure out how to ride that thing without crashing into shit. Because I definitely crashed into shit. I thought I pulled up those other photos. Where did they go? Did I not download them? Shame on me. Well, I'll post them up on Instagram. But let me go ahead and show you guys these. Kaiser, I'm telling you, is the Kaiser and shockingly CRKT, along with Fosteed and a couple others. But as far as what people had is in regards to new stuff, I gotta say that Kaiser, everybody's gonna have to look out for what Kaiser is going to be spitting out over the next handful of months. This guy really intrigued me, which is funny because here we go, we got another harpoon blade, but this guy is really cool with the fat carbon in that purple haze. Just looked really, really nice. But the lines and the details on this thing, I mean, look at that thumb stud. The lines and the details on this thing were sick. And then this was another one. And I'm mad I didn't actually personally take a photo of it up close. I meant to, but people kept handling it. But this guy right here, in these three slots in the middle of the handle, where it's like, it looks like a mesh net that's like inserted from the back side, from the underside of the scales. It's not. That is actually still part of the scale itself, all one piece. That is just some absolutely insane micro milling job that they did on it. Just mind blowing. The amount of milling into this handle, and it's not just with those three cutouts, it's all over this damn thing. It's even, if you see right there, the front flipper, that's a cutout for one of your tritium tubes to go in, so you can insert a tritium tube right there on that front flipper, and it's just a prototype, doesn't even have a name yet. But I'm pretty sure with the feedback that they were getting on this guy, as well as this one, the Feeweed or Feeweed, however they pronounce it. But this one is definitely going to get made, and so is this other one with that insane micro milling. I don't know how many they'll make of this, but yeah, they're definitely going to. And then this one, Maddie, you still here? Please tell me you're still here, Maddie. This guy right here instantly my mind was like, this has got Maddie written all over it, all over this knife. Look at I know it's really hard because it's a still shot from a video, but there's milling on the clip here, both at the back end as well as where the ramp is for it going into your pocket. So yeah, there's cool milling there. There's the frag. They're calling it a faded frag pattern on the scales there. So it kind of like the pattern kind of tapers off at each end. Up there where the pivot is, it's kind of strong behind it, and then towards the bottom end of the handle, the frag tapers off. It has a thumb disc, so you kind of have to like thumb disc. You see that little thumb disc right there? Yeah, that's a thumb disc, but it's got that upsweep blade that's got Maddie's style written all over it. All over it. All right, now, hold on. Before we get to that one, let me grab something. All right, this next knife, this next one right here, this is a CRKT. And, oh my gosh. All right. My chair was having its issues again. But so this is a CRKT. And the CRKT booth, I stopped by it, but I didn't like spend much time because it's CRKT. But they have like a new line. They are diving into, better late than never, right? But they are diving into the more premium materials and paying a little more attention to what people want. And they're trying to bounce back into the game and play catch up finally. Okay, and this particular knife was really cool and quite interesting. If you like wine, if you drink wine, this knife is for you. Has a nice blade, even right there by the pivot. It actually has a little flare there so that you can pop a bottle top, so you can handle your brewskis. And then on the top of the spine there, it has the corkscrew for opening a wine bottle. All right. And it's all done in a way, as you see in this photo. Where did the corkscrew go? It is hidden in the handle with that top piece that comes up over the spine there, and just seamlessly meets up with the rest of the handle, and just it makes it look like an elegant folder, right? But then you lift that guy up, and there's your corkscrew. So the execution of this and the design of this is done, to me, I feel like it was done very, very well. So really, really neat. But let me pull up the video. And I know a lot of people don't watch too much of Blade HQ videos anymore, but I gotta pull this up, and you gotta watch this one part because it's freaking hilarious. They got all of their new videos from Blade Show. Where's the one with CRKT? Where's their CRKT one? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let me just do playlist. Blade Show Atlanta playlist. I don't want all of them. I don't want you to. What the hell happened? Playlist. Stop. I want to view full playlist like that. And then I can scroll down. Yep, new CRKT. All right.
Dad,
What? What? What?
what are you going to do?
Later. Can you please just let me do my thing? Close my door, please. All right. All right. So here they are, and let me drag it to the part where they're talking about this guy. Hold on. I don't want y'all to miss it.
This one.
That one's all stainless.
All stainless.
They did two.
Oh, so
versions
this
of it.
you like hook that on your.
Yeah, so this is
Cork and-
actually a functional lever that folds out the bolster here.
Mhm.
Like as you pull the cork, you're using this as leverage on the bottle
Oh
itself.
my goodness, that's not just a corkscrew.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
it's
full
not-
operation.
It's not just a cap that gets out of the way. It's actually part of the function of the knife.
So this guy, I forget what his name is, but he did not realize, the guy that works for Blade HQ, again, I forget his name, but he did not realize that this piece right here that folds out on that knife is specifically for grabbing the edge of the wine bottle like so and being used as leverage to open up your wine bottle. He had apparently not a wine person, because most of us, every wine person should know that's how it's and what that's for and how that's used. But yeah, he did not know. He had absolutely no idea. Let me play the rest of it.
Dang.
And the other fun thing about these that they also kept in production was that there's a spring milled into the liner so that these don't just flop around like while you're using it.
Yeah, that way it'll stay mostly still. And I imagine if you hold it just by the knife, it'll still stay up,
Exactly, yeah.
which will be nice when you're
The other
mounting.
thing I ran into, and the reason I did that spring, was that I didn't want the corkscrew rattling around
Mhm.
like while it's in the closed position.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just an annoying thing if you have a little rattle there. So it solved that problem.
Man, what a clever design.
Thank you.
So I think there's two versions of this, yeah?
There are, yeah. There's this one, and there's also an ultra premium.
Okay. An ultra premium. So this one's a lot lighter.
It is, yeah. So that one's full grade 5 titanium, M390, and similarly a steel corkscrew.
I'll tell you, like, this is the gentleman's knife, I think.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
you open your wine and have your steak afterwards, right?
Yep. I feel like the wine. I feel like a corkscrew is something that I've heard numerous gentlemen influencers say, like, you need a good corkscrew.
Sure.
And you also need a good pocket knife. And I think this is perhaps the most artful and classy way I've seen the two integrated
Thank you.
ever.
I really appreciate that.
Very nicely done.
One other feature that most people don't know about is this notch here. It's to play kind of off like a Spanish notch,
Yeah.
but it's just large enough to open cans with it.
So if you're
not
drinking a
in for
perhaps
wine-
less refined beverage.
Yeah, have a beer or Coke, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that guy, Blade HQ guy, does not know how to open wine bottles, apparently, with these type of corkscrews. So I'm going to, on camera here, you get the corkscrew going. Oh, hold on, I gotta sit it down on my knee. I can't do it up in the air like that. So you get the corkscrew going, and this is where this guy meets up eventually with the edge of the bottle. And once it meets up with the edge of the bottle, you use that as your leverage to pull the cork out. So apparently he didn't know that that's what that part is. Yeah, so he didn't know that's what that part is, which I thought that was hilarious when I passed over that video the other day. But yeah, fancy bottle of wine. Stevie gave me a lot of shit the other night at the Airbnb when I showed up for pizza and brought 2 beers and wouldn't share one of my beers with him. I told him I didn't have enough to share with him. But yeah, so he said he gave me a whole bunch of shit for that, just to yank my chain. And then there was the pie. There's the delicious pie, and we did have pizza a good bit, but you can never have enough pizza. I mean, you can, but at the same time, you can't. Pizza is always a solid choice. Yeah, I told him it was a bring your own because I'm, on the motorcycle, can only fit but a couple of beers on the motorcycle. I can't bring a whole, 24 pack. Yeah. A freeloading Michi pizza fondler. I didn't know what they were doing. I thought we were still gonna go out for dinner that night. I thought we were gonna, pick a place, and I was all for it. But no, Stevie's like we already ordered. Or Sharif, I think, was the one who said we already ordered pizza, and I was like, whoa, okay. So then I automatically, since Stevie was giving me shit about the beer, that in my head I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to run out and get my own dinner because I didn't want like I was not gonna take the pizza. I really wasn't. I didn't want the pizza. I actually wanted to eat something else, but I who was it who like shoved it at me? Somebody was like, no, have some, gave me the plate. And I took the plate and I was like, well, this isn't my pizza. I didn't pay nothing for this. I truly felt like a terrible freeloader. I really did. I felt bad. But didn't Sharif pay for the pizza? Stevie, was it you or Sharif who paid for the pizza? I mean, not that it matters, but if it was Sharif, at least I won't feel as bad because I did buy his knife. I did pick up the pre-order. We'll go ahead and do Sharif Mengzanis. What's his website? SM Knives. Is it Sharif _ Mengzanis? Why can't I remember how he does his website? Anybody want to help me out and put a link for Sharif's website? Oh, I don't think you can actually because I've not made anybody a mod. It's Manganese Steel. That's what it is. Knives. You put that in. There you go. Yeah, no moderators. I haven't bothered to set that crap up. I need to. I really do. I need to make all of y'all mods because y'all are always the same wonderful group that bothers to tune into my lives. But yeah, it's. Let me present. Sharif decided to do a drop announcement, an announcement for beginning the pre-order on the Aurelia, if I'm saying that right. So it's a pre-order only. I think I forget what quantity. I think he wants to do at least 200 of these. So as long as he gets 100, 150 pre-orders, he'll place the order with who is it, Riot? That's making them. Yeah. And so once he places the order with Riot, they're supposedly going to take about somewhere between 4 and 5 months to fulfill production, and then he'll get his QSC done as quickly as possible. Which that's one thing that I really respect with Sharif and his Mangana Steel. When he does QC work, he does QC work. He does it the way that you would want custom, $900 to $1,500 knives to be QC. That's how he QCs every single one of them. Make sure that they are top notch in the best final fit form that he can possibly have them be before he sends them in the mail. So yeah, this thing is going to be really cool. That was too big. He shows here that how from his prototype does not have the milled jimping on the lock bar here, where his CAD drawing. I don't think he uses CAD. He uses some other, but his 3D drawing shows the jimping, and he's gonna do it on both sides so they kind of mirror each other. But yeah, that's cool. So that's up now. That's up now. Pre-order $280 is the deal. The steal of a deal. Made by Riot. Ball bearings. 63 HRC Magna Cut. Yeah, that's what they're aiming for. 3.6 inch blade, 4.4 ounces. And the scales themselves are contoured just slightly rounded over. But yeah, gonna be one hell of a canvas for anybody wanting to do some anodization jobs. I mean, it's just, this is kind of outside Sharif's design standards. He wanted to make something that was kind of just very, not plain, but straightforward, I guess is what I would say. Just a solid, straightforward EDC hard user that still has a air of elegance to it, but just in a very simplistic form. It's gonna be one solid knife. His prototype, that we were playing with all weekend, pretty much everybody had their fingers on at one point or another, was really good. And the improvements that are going to be done to the final production version is going to make it really sweet. But yeah, speaking of anodizing, I have the one that I picked up that was done up by Dopey. So Dopey did the anodization on this guy. I mean, that dude is just, making leaps and bounds in his abilities and what he can do. Yeah. Outstanding job by the Dopester in his hi-ho customs. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's get the giveaway going. Y'all want to do the giveaway? Itching to do the giveaway? We'll make it goal time. All right. So one of the knives that I picked up, and if you watch the video, you know already. One of the knives that I picked up at Blade Show was a Trevisa, and it is the RAUR -04 is the name of it. But it's a button lock, thumb flipper, and rear flipper tab. So it is got the trifecta of fidgety fun. And the detent is pretty good for, making that happy medium. And it's got a very sheep's footy blade shape too. Just a little bit of belly. It's in 14C 28N. So yeah, this is our giveaway. It's as I showed it, my video on it, it reminded me quite a bit, just an overall profile. Not that they're anywhere near each other as far as the knives themselves, but I got just a tiny little bit of vibes of the Capara in this guy. Between the blade shape, mostly the blade shape, but just overall profile and size. Like, I don't know. It just, I guess when I was fooling around with this one, it was making me miss my Capara, because I almost took my Capara to Blade Show with me. It was in the contender of which knives I was gonna take with me to Blade Show. So when I picked this up, it made me think of my Capara and miss my Capara. So I don't know if y'all see that, but no, it's so yeah, it's a solid knife, and they go for like $60, 58, $60, I think is what you can get it off of White Mountain Knives right now. But you get your cleaning cloth and your little bag, little velvet pouch to keep it in, and their card, and then their little pamphlet deal. So you get all that with it, of course, in the box. And it's like the box is covered in another box. But yeah, so there's that. So that's the knife. And I just happened to grab this when the fella at the Trevisa booth was like, $20, anything on the table. He had probably about a dozen knives on the table, and he was like, anything on the table, $20. His stress on that was that he didn't want to take them home. He didn't want to have to deal with taking them home, so he just wanted them gone. So I scored that guy for just $20. All right, but it's a $60 knife still. Along with it, I'm going to include this guy that gives you your Phillips and flathead, but more importantly, your T6 and your T8 on a little carabiner, 511 hex tool. So yeah, so that's going with it. And then another little freebie fun thing that I picked up at the show was that also at the Condor booth. They had more of these things, these little keychain fun knife. They had this knife, and then they had the axe, and then they had one of their machetes done up. So you had three different and then there was another one. I forget what no, I think it was just those three. But I'm gonna include this. This is kind of cool to hang from a necklace or keychain or whatever. So it says Condor on one side and it says El Salvador on the other. So yeah, so that's our giveaway. We're gonna do the numbers game as always. Less room for funny business going on when you just play the numbers game. And the next giveaway, which won't be this next Friday, but the Friday after, I'm going to do another giveaway that will be a Kaiser, and I've got a whole bunch of Kaiser swag from Blade Show, so that'll be a fun one. But let's see, let's do a range of all right. All right, I got the number written down. Yeah, nice try, Stevie. The range is going to be 275 to 423. So as soon as y'all see the range with the start, y'all can start guessing. The range is 275 to 423. Hey, there's G-Ball. So here's the giveaway. Y'all go ahead and throw up your numbers. Y'all throw up your guesses. I'll let it go for a little bit. Yeah, 275 to 423. Guess. So yeah, y'all check out my video if you haven't on my Blade Show scores, because I didn't want to bore y'all with showing every single one of those and talking about every single one of those. I did mail out today, this morning. I dropped it off at the post office. The Artisan Ahab that was graciously given to me by Nico at the Artisan booth to send to Yonin's Edge. So that was one of his knives that was on his list that he kind of threw out at the very beginning of the year of knives that he wanted to pick up for 2024. And it's an older model, but it's a really good one. It's a really nice knife, and he wanted to check it out. And so I went to go buy it, at the artisan booth and kind of just say, hey, I want to get this, and it was the only one that they had there, and I was like, but I would really like to buy it so that I can send it to a friend that wasn't able to be here, and so he said that he was going to take care of it and packaged it up for me and handed it to me. And so I took a photo of it later that day and sent it to Yonan. And he actually, here, I'll pull up the message so that I don't misquote it. Yonan was one of the fellows that I was really, him and G-Ball and Maddie were the three that like I really wanted to come to Blade Show because I wanted to meet them and spend some time with them, and that as three guys that I didn't get to meet or see my first year, the year before. So I know why Maddie couldn't go, and I know why Yonan couldn't go. So I was like super stoked when G-Ball put out that he and his wife are gonna make it down. Oh, is he Neil? Yeah. So I took a photo of it and just said, "Hey, you were wanting one of these Ahabs, yes?" And he said, "Yes." He asked me if I was selling it, and I just said, "No, not selling. Sending it to you." So I told him it's yours. I was gonna send it to him. So he was real appreciative. But yeah, I was a little bummed, but understood why he wasn't going to be able to go to Blade Show. I will eventually someday in the future meet up with him and give him a big ass bro hug and spend some time with that guy because Rich is such a cool dude, and I really just want to get to know him more and spend some time with him. But yeah, y'all get your guesses up. That's your range again. And I'm going to go grab a cup that I can pour myself a little bit of this tasty wine because now that I opened it, I want some. You're not allowed to win.
What? I'm not allowed to win.
Because you're not 18, Andrew. You got to be 18 to win one of my knives. That's my stepson there, Andrew. He's intrigued by what I do, which is good. I'm gonna have some of this wine. Oh, that's great that you get to see him, Neil. Making me jealous. Oh, that's terrible, man. Were there complications, or was it more of a natural passing, or did he have health issues? I am not looking forward to the day that my father passes away. That's gonna really suck. Yeah, I remember that y'all are not too terribly far away from each other. You're closer to him than Doom and I are. Doom and I are we're like 3.5 hours apart, and I hadn't seen him in a year either, so it was really cool to see him again. And that man has just done an unbelievably good job of losing the weight that he has lost. Like it was crazy. how much more I could get around him. But yeah, no, Doom was. I'm just so happy for him. I'm so proud of him, so happy for him that he lost that weight that he wanted to lose, and he looks fantastic. It's really really great. But all right, everybody get their guesses in. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna draw it here. Y'all got about 1 more minute. Okay, he was 87. Yeah, my grandfather was 78 when he passed. My dad's 64. Yeah, he's 64 right now. So really really hope that he gets another 30 years. At least 30 years. The wine I'm drinking, I know most of the time you guys see me drinking beer or drinking whiskey, bourbon. But I do love my wines, and this is actually a winery that's down in St. Augustine, Florida. They come right out of St. Augustine, Florida, which is only about an hour north of where Doom lives, but he doesn't drink wine. But yeah, it's a mild red. It's a little sweet, but not too sweet. So it's not sweet like a dessert snack wine. It's not. It's way better than a Merlot. The wife and I typically, Mrs. Urban and I, prefer our sweet wines. She likes really sweet and really fruity. This one is a good balance, red balance. I'm not having too much sweet, but also not having a super quick or dry finish. Yeah, I love my bourbon. I really love my bourbon. Whether it's bourbon, or it's whiskey bourbon, or it's Scotch bourbon, or even gin. I'll have gin every once in a while. I kind of have to be in the mood for gin. A little white girl in me. No. Being a very, very strong European family, we're well versed in our wines. I've been to a lot of wineries in my day. Done a lot of wine tastings, and it's fun. I'd rather wine tasting is a much better date than going to the movies. Way better of a date. So if you're dating, if you're still single and you're dating, or you have that fresh new relationship, or even if you've been married 30 years, if you've not gone to a winery and done a nice winery and done a good wine tasting, that is a fun activity. That is a lot of fun, and it makes for a fairly decently. It can be a decently inexpensive date. Now, if you end up buying a whole case of wine afterwards, spending $100 to $300 on wine, then it's not. But shut up, Stevie. Shut your mouth. Get the hell out of here. All right, let's announce our winner. Oh, before we do that, hey man, dude, you were so much fun. And talk about somebody who appreciates my humor. Hey man was an awesome guy to walk around Blade Show with. He was a lot of fun, and he got me. He understood my quirkiness. He actually thought I was mildly humorous. So, hey man, dude, I appreciate you. I really, really enjoyed spending time with you and walking around the show, hitting up a couple tables, checking out stuff, and just having some good conversation with you, brother. Yeah, Hey Man is awesome. G-Ball. Not funny. I didn't even try. Did I come across a little more serious at Blade Show this year? I wasn't trying to be. It's hard because I have people like said Stevie to compete with, and Snuzz Nuzz and Forrest and Vince. Like there's the humor and the range, the overwhelming range of different types of humor that were present between all of us. Like I didn't even want to compete. Even want to compete with slide jokes or witty comebacks. Like it was enough soaking in the rest of them. Like I mean there is no competition, but like to try to throw something out there when everybody else was just so quick on their feet. I just enjoyed listening. I just enjoyed listening and watching. So I didn't put myself out there too much. Now, if you hang on me on one-on-one, or two or three people, then I'll cut up and throw back. But all right, let's go ahead. Let me scroll back up and y'all help me figure out who our winner chicken dinner is. There's my start. Okay. So the number was 393. There's 393 from the range. 393. Who is my closest without going over? We got 311 from Ginger Fisher. 347. 343 or 333. Sorry, 337. 388 by B&A. Oh, pretty fly for a knife guy. Topped him with the 389. You got squashed, B&A. Is Pretty Fly our winner? Ant, you went over, bud. I know you were playing for Marco, which is all good. Same with you, sharp guy. Playing for Ant. Did anybody? Greg, you were close. 369. Anybody beat Pretty Fly, or is he our winner? Looks like he's our winner. I don't see any more guesses. Did anybody get in on the last minute? Yep, no, I'm declaring it. Pretty Fly for Knife Guy. He's our winner. Sweet. Dude, do I got your contact info? Your mailing info? If I don't, hit me up. Either on Instagram and message me on Instagram or it's urbanwoodsman87@gmail.com. There you go. Email me there or hit me up on Instagram. Graham. Sorry. I'm lifting my chair up again. So hey, one thing that I forgot who showed it, but did y'all know that these poker chips, that everybody's handing out and trying to make a thing, these poker chips are magnetic. I did not know that, or if I didn't know it from last year, I must have forgot. At some point, I must have forgot. But I did not realize that these things were magnetic. I don't know why. That's really cool that they are. But yeah, they're magnetic, which I either knew at one point and forgot about it, or just didn't know altogether, and suddenly realized. But yeah, this shirt is so badass. Doom shirt. Oh, was it Donnie? Was it Donnie that figured it out, Steve? That's right. He was sitting there and he's like, "Hey, you don't know that these were magnetic? Hey, I just figured out these were magnetic." That was great. Good moment. All right. So send me your info, Pretty Fly. Hey, El Cap's here. And Bluminati's here. And Dwayne's here. Had a pretty good turnout today. Is that because of the fact that I was doing a giveaway and announced I was doing a giveaway? You son of a bitch. Good times. Maybe the next one. So yeah, it's summertime and I've got stepkids here, so it's kind of busy. Had my daughter and I were the other weekend up in Atlanta for the Renaissance Festival, and then Blade Show is this weekend, and the family is going doing a small family trip down in Florida here for the second half of this upcoming week. So next Friday's live probably won't happen because we will be down there and I'll be busy with the family. So no Friday live next Friday. The Friday after, the 28th, is when I'll be back again for another live stream. It is possible that, again, I'm not gonna, don't hold me to it. I'm not gonna make any promises because I don't know what the plans will be family wise for the 23rd. So that's Sunday. So instead of doing a live next Friday, I might do it next Sunday. I'll probably step on Tri-State's toes. He still does his Sunday lives. I don't know if he does or not. I kind of didn't feel like I was wanted or needed to show up to his lives lately. The way he's been doing his giveaways and other stuff, I've not been, just didn't tickle my fancy. So I've kind of just not shown up in the chats and any of the Tri-State lives these days. Kind of took a break from him and allowed myself to watch some other people and check out some other people's lives, which is good. It's good to spread out the love and check out some other guys. One of them being Duty, and then I have to try really hard for some reason to catch Loot 10 Tex, which I met him at Blade Show, so that was cool. Got to shake his hand. Him and the missus were, as Stevie said, the only two at the Kaiser dinner sporting a said Stevie shirt of some fashion. So that was really cool. I'm not going to highlight that G-ball. You know, I'm glad you brought him up. From every moment that I was around Shane, and this is gonna like shock y'all, but it's true. It's true. Shane was really well behaved. From every moment that I was hanging out around him, he was really well behaved. He was a good boy. He's a tall guy. Yeah, he's like 6'2", 6'3", for sure. If not, maybe another inch or two taller. It's hard to judge that bald head. Oh, do you? Really? Well, then, shit, we should get together there and drink some wine, man. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. The first time I went to this winery, I was 3 years old with my parents. I was 3 years old. In the stroller, in the tasting room. I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, I was 3 years old the first time I went to that winery. I've been to that winery probably more than a dozen times easily, way more than a dozen times. But yeah, no, they've got some really good wine, and it's not overpriced, which a lot of wineries, especially if you go to a winery up in the mountains, whew, they can be a quick more than a few bucks. That's for damn sure. Yeah, about the same for me. 30 years. Yeah, I go there about once every other year. So like I said, I've been there probably at least 15 to 18 times. I love their port. Do you like their port? I love their port. I've got a bottle of that in the wine thing. I wasn't driving, I was riding in the stroller. I was 3. That's cool. I didn't know you were down right there. Yeah, Shane is a cool dude, but you know, I mean, his stories of him getting himself into trouble, and he's always up for a good time. But yeah, Shane's a cool guy. He's I always pay attention when he has something to say. Yes, Stevie's a good sized guy. But from what I hear, Maddie is a damn, you know, your friendliest giant in the world. He's supposedly way up there. So no, yes, I had a really good time. I got a lot of free shit, including some free pizza and some free pie at Stevie's Airbnb. And like I said in my other video, both Airbnbs, all of these guys, he's not 8'3" Stevie, but despite how much shit I was given at both Airbnbs, everybody was very kind to me and the hospitality was top notch. No, I am grateful, very grateful for being welcomed, despite my poor mannerisms that Stevie so graciously pointed out many a times. So yes, thank you, Stevie, for putting up with my bullshit. Yeah, I tried. I tried. It was good pie. Um, it was really interesting. So, from what uh we were told, and Stevie's always better at describing things than I ever will be. But so it had like an apple crisp base, the crust, with actual like thin slivers of apple, right? Um, and then it had an eggless cheesecake type filling to it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's that's what she called it. That's how she's titled this pie. It's a caramel apple crunch cheesecake. So again, it has that caramel apple and a little more heavy on the apple as the base, the bottom crust layer. And then you had the cheesecake type filling with no eggs. Um, and then you had another layer of crumbled caramel appley crust that had and it had to have been your apple flavored oatmeal, but there was like actual oatmeal mixed in as the crust, and that was all over the top, and it was delicious. It was absolutely like, yeah, we all wanted to eat the whole damn thing, but they got hooked up with two of them, and we shared one of them Sunday night, and I was kind of like pulling Stevie's chain. Went into like they we agreed that dishing it out and serving it on plates should have been needed to be done inside so that the pie stayed cool, and then we just took our plates outside to eat. But so the pie dish stayed inside in the kitchen there. And when Sharif and I went up to refill our drinks and go to the bathroom and whatever, I went and we both actually got another sliver of pie. Sharif got another sliver of pie on his plate. And then jokingly, I said to Sharif, I said, what do you think Stevie's going to do if I just plop the rest of this pie dish onto my plate and just walk out there with the rest of the whole thing just on my plate? And Sharif, he didn't specifically say the words, I dare you, but he gave me that look. He laughed and gave me the look. And I was like, you know what? Whether you want me to or not, I'm doing it. I already made it up in my mind that I was going to do it. So I stumbled down those steps, which those were some steep steps on that coming out of that house to the back patio. But yeah, I stumbled down the steps with the rest of the dish. It had like maybe 2 1/4 servings left in the pie dish. And I stumbled down the steps and went over and sat down, trying my hardest, my absolute hardest, to do this shit with a straight face. And Stevie, of course, blared out about how, once again, I have poor manners and poor etiquette, and I'm going to be banished from future visits. So it was bad. I was so mad. I was asking for it at that point. I really was. So, but no, that was probably the worst bit of shenanigans I did. It was fun. It was fun. I did no such thing, Greg. I did no such thing. I have one time when I was a teenager, a younger teenager, like 13, 14, I was chilling in the neighborhood at a friend's house, and we were playing basketball or whatever, doing something out in his driveway, just hanging out in his driveway. And his house lived at like one corner of the street where it was like, you either go left or right only corner. And this guy that lived like 5 doors down from him, down around the corner there, came blaring down the street in his pickup truck, and super fast. He was in a hurry for whatever reason, and he swerved and took out a squirrel right there, right in front of my buddy's house, right at the end of his driveway. Took out a squirrel, squashed his head. So my buddy went and snatched up the dead squirrel and took it to the backyard and showed me how to skin and fillet up a squirrel and cook it. Straight up. Biggest redneck motherfucker in the neighborhood. And he straight up did that when we were like 13, 14 years old. Showed me how to dress and cook a squirrel that had just been killed right in front of our eyes by this dude in this pickup truck. So that is the only one and only time that I have consumed roadkill. So, and it was a squirrel, not a cat. Any fake turds on the floor? No, there wasn't, Mimo. There wasn't. Although there was a lot of crop dusting going on. Tempest Knives booth had a slight pungent odor about it for most of the day, each day. And besides Stevie, I know Stevie did because he threw up his video on it. But the little pirate ship thing that was set up, people crop dusted the crap out of that thing too because it was kind of somewhat mostly closed in. So yeah, you blew smoke in that one and it lingered. I do, El Cap. I don't really talk much about it, and mainly because I only do it about once a year. But I do bow hunt for deer, and when the opportunity presents itself, if there is a rabbit or snake, and it wouldn't hurt to have the extra food, I'll do that. I like rattlesnakes. Rattlesnake is good. That shit is good. It's better than chicken. He wasn't letting it slip. Everybody else was letting it slip. So I would say, comparing crowd-wise, let me fix my damn chair again. Sorry. There, better. So crowd-wise, comparing this year to last year was a little interesting. The volume of people in and out of the rooms in the building was less intense Friday. Like it kind of came in a wave and then quickly dropped off. So like, max flow was around 12:30, 1:30 time frame was when we had the most amount of people in there Friday. And then it kind of like by 2:30, 3 o'clock, it really dove off and there was a lot less people there. And then Saturday was absolutely nuts. Saturday was packed. It's like the people, like fewer people were able to show up Friday, so they came Saturday. And Saturday is always the busier day. But between the 2 years, between last year and this year's Saturday was it felt like at least another 1,500 people more volume wise. Like, yeah. What was I was grateful to see. It was really nice to see was how many more families, more spouses, more significant others, and kids. And thank goodness the kids that were there running around doing stuff, they were pretty well behaved and they were respectful and they understood, what was going on and how they had to be careful going from table to table, place to place. I did see a couple of babies, and they handled the knives pretty good. Yep, yep. There was one little tyke that was probably maybe about 9 months old that had one of the ballad songs and flipping away. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, no, and then Sunday, I would say this year Sunday was even more dead than Sunday last year. Like Sunday until the end. Sunday kind of sucks, and it irritates me with Sunday, a Blade show, because like they don't open the doors. When do they open the doors? Let me pull that up because I can't remember the hours. Yeah, Sunday is 9 to 2. 9 to 2. Friday was 11 to 6 for general admission. Saturday was 9 to 6. And Sunday was 9 to 2. So I really wish that I would prefer them to have bumped up. To me, it would make a lot more sense. Let me present so y'all can see the hours at the same time here. Okay. So Friday is 11 to 6, Saturday is 9 to 6, and Sunday is 9 to 2. It makes more sense to me in my mind to have done Friday 10 to 6 for general admission, and your early birds get in at 9. Right? That makes sense. If your Saturday and Sunday both start at 9 a.m., why wouldn't your early bird for Friday start at 9 a.m.? I mean, the assumption would be that, people are still trying to fly in on a Friday morning, maybe wanting early admission, but honestly, if you're going to be an early bird, your ass should be there Thursday, especially. But yeah, I think early bird on Friday should be at 9, and regular admission should be at 10. I think the 6 p.m. ending time is fine. Most people kind of dipped out of there between 5 and 5:30 to go get dinner, and then go back to what the pit area is, and hang out at the pit, from 7:30 to freaking midnight. Saturday, I think, is fine with the 9 to 6. Sunday, I feel like Sunday's hours should be changed to 10 to 4. I think Sunday should be 10 to 4. Because I tell you what happens Sunday. Everybody's fucking exhausted by Sunday. Like, we're burnt out. If you go Friday and Saturday, Sunday, you're a goddamn zombie walking around in those rooms. You're a damn zombie. So, and then the other problem is, I would say, and I think Stevie would agree with me, that around noon, 12:30-ish, pretty much all of your smaller tables, your smaller booths, your smaller makers, by noon, they're packing up or already packed up. Like about a fifth of the showroom floor is empty on Sunday, even at 9, 10 a.m. And like people just are really quick to pack up on Sunday. All the exhibitors, they're just so quick to pack up. And I wish that they would drag it out to 4 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. in effort to get them to have their stuff out a little bit longer, because most people who come Sunday don't show up until afternoon, till around 11:30, 12 o'clock is when the vast majority of your Sunday ticket holders arrive. Because again, they're exhausted. Sunday, they want to, by Sunday morning, they don't want to get up early. Again, you know, you feel like you've seen the majority of what you wanted to see, and that's just kind of what happens. And then the other part of that Sunday is I picked up the a lot of your Chinese companies that don't have footprints, stores, shops, dealers, or whatever, reps in the United States here, that are the ones that are actually like they're bringing their knives all the way from China to the show here in the States, and then they're having to drag all their stuff all the way back overseas. They want to try to get rid of as much as possible on Sunday, last minute, so that they have less that they have to pack up, less that they have to take it back, less that they have to deal with going through customs and security and all that jazz. So I picked up at the Vosteed booth, one of the corgis. Now, they had about a dozen of about a half a dozen of these, about 5 or 6 of them. And the one that I wanted, they did like at 1 o'clock. Yeah, it happened at 1 o'clock. They did a drawing, a raffle drawing, basically, where they had 10 knives on the table. There were all these prototypes of doing different finishes, different handle scale finishes and materials on a couple of models, on a handful of different models. They, at 1 o'clock, you had to go by on Sunday before 1 and pick up a ticket, and there were 10 of them. So then you had 10 of these things, and at 1 o'clock, all 10 of us lined up in order from whatever number our ticket was. I was number 8. And the one that I wanted of this model, the handle material that it had on it, the dude that was number 3, which was a kid, he grabbed it, and so I ended up picking up this one instead. So it's all right. But so I really hope that they make that particular handle material in some of their future knives, whether it be this one or others. But it's a real cool type of G10 that had a bunch of swirls in it, and it kind of looked like carbon fiber, like swirled carbon fiber, but it wasn't. It was a G10 material. So it was really neat. So I picked up this one, and it's because it was just a prototype of different handles. They only used like 5 CR for the blade, and I'm gonna end up giving this guy away. It'll be given away at some point. I don't either on the channel or to somebody in my local community here. I have a handful of people who love knives around town, but yeah. So it was only done in 5 CR, and Vosti didn't even put an edge on it. Like, it was just a blank blade, no edge on it whatsoever. So I went over as soon as I grabbed it, and they took photos of all of us holding ours up. I went over to the Wicked Edge, and I went over to their table where they had a bunch of their sharpeners out, and they were sharpening people's knives for them. And I asked them if they could put a quick edge on it, which is a good edge. It's not a great edge. I'm going to touch it up a little bit and strop it. So they did that, and then I had one of the other guys put a slightly better edge on my pulse. So I had somebody sharpen that up, because this Magnet Cut is like, as much as I love Magnet Cut, it's a pain in the ass to put a good edge on it if you don't have a really, really good sharpening system. And I just have one of those Lansky systems, and it does a decent job. I can get, hair popping sharp with a lot of steels using that sharpening system, but Magnet Cut I cannot. Magnet Cut proves to be a bitch for me to try to get a hair shaving sharp edge on Magnet Cut. For whatever reason, it's just more of a challenge, and I don't have the time or the patience to do it. So they sharpened it up for me and got it right there at that hair shaving sharp. So grateful that they did that for me, and that was like during the last hour of the show. During the last hour of the show, they did that. So I was kind of tied up, and it kind of sucked because there was probably another couple booths that I wanted to go look at some things again. So it would have just been really nice if they had on Sundays done it from 10 to 4. 10 to 4 would be better hours. And you asking about the Magnet Cut, usually by the respectable knife companies, 63, 64 is usually where you want Magnet Cut to be. That's where it performs its best. So yeah, 63 or 64 HRC, and that's what John at EMP EDC claims that they're doing for him. And I'm pretty sure it's been tested by those who do the HRC testing on a bunch of stuff. There goes my seat again. God damn it. Let's see what else is there to talk about. That's really kind of it. Oh, we there's some good, if you indulge in weed for the sake of anxiety and body pain or headaches, weed is an excellent natural way to assist in resolving those issues and treating those issues. So there was some good stuff. There's some good stuff at both Airbnbs. And Snuzz, he brings some good stuff, and he is all about that. And he just lays back and does his Snuzz thing, and it's just one cool dude. That man is so fun to watch. It absolutely does. I mean, obviously, anything that's scoring above 60 on the HRC is going to require more passes for sharpening an edge. It's just it takes a little more time. It takes more passes. And then the other main factors is what angle. How hard the steel is, and what angle. The chemical makeup of each and every steel being different. I mean, now you're trying to get into the shit that that Nee's Knives, full heartedly goes ape shit about. I'm not like that when it comes to talking about sharpening. I know the gist of it. I know a little more than the bare minimum, I would say. So I'm no expert. I've not gone off the deep end with your different sharpening systems and different types of stones and whatnot, like Nee's Knives does. That dude goes full depth, and you ask him about it, and he just coasts through his whole spiels and everything, and he is more than happy to answer anybody and everybody's question about sharpening and how to go about it, and how each steel behaves differently on different stones. So yeah, that's his thing. That's not so much my thing. Good question, Brasher. Not really that bad. I mean, you have the Cumberland Mall, which is literally like 2 blocks away. You pretty much go up the outside the building, go up the steps there, and then there's a causeway, a breezeway that goes across the main road. So you walk across that, and that dumps you down into the parking lot that that's there at the mall, where there's about five or six restaurants of different cuisine. And usually the waits there are about 35 to 55 minutes floating around Blade Show. I think that's the wife calling. Let me see. I will, if she calls again, I'll text her and say, hey, still in my life. But yeah, it's about 35 to 55 minutes, depending on the restaurant, and whether it's a Friday or a Saturday. Oh, do you have Buc-ee's? I've been to Colorado 3 times. 3 times I've been out to Colorado. I've been in every state, thanks to my parents. They love to travel. We had a travel trailer camper that got pulled behind the vehicle, and every summer and big holidays, if there was a 4-day weekend or more, we were gone. Took off and went everywhere: state parks, national parks, places of touristy places and whatnot, and sightseeing places all over the country. So yeah, mostly thanks to them, I've been to every single state. But yeah, no, I love Colorado. I've done a little bit of snowboarding in Colorado. So, well, I think that's going to be it for today, folks. I think I'm tired of talking about the same shit, honestly. But no, it's been fun. Oh, you changed. You like the Devo mash? I recently, yesterday actually, added a little bit of cordage to the Devo nip just to give it a splash of color. This is just a fun little guy, fun little fifth pocketer. But yeah, since I was in the paracord not tying mood, I was like, you know what, this guy could use a little bit of a lanyard on the back end of him, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, I've kind of steered away from Devo. Couldn't exactly tell you why. I just don't have interest in them right now. Nothing that they're coming out with has that wow factor to me. That's just what it boils down to. We are in that golden age with pocket knives and knives in general, to where like there's so much to choose from. There's so much out there. So much out there. 64.8. Wow, that's on the higher end, no? How's it do? It's not, haven't chipped it, have you? That is definitely at the higher end. What do you have two of, Ed? I don't smoke when I sharpen. What do you have two of, Ed? You have two ABWs, or what do you have two of? Our Bucky's is still underway. I actually need to drive by and see where they're at with building that thing. But supposedly it's not going to pop up until spring of next year. As much as I wish that they would get a move on it and make it happen sooner, probably not going to open until spring of next year, like late spring, like after Easter. At least I believe that's what their projected time frame is. But yeah, okay. I haven't checked my email yet, but Pretty Fly, if you're still in here, don't forget to send me your info so I can get this gall package sent out to you early next week before I go on my second vacation, the one that I have to do with the family. Oh yeah, Marco, thank you. Yes, anybody and everybody. It's Father's Day weekend. Totally forgot about that. Damn. Look at me dropping the ball. Okay, I got you, bud. I got you. Sweet. I'll get that out to you either Monday or Tuesday for show, because I'll be gone Wednesday. But yes, shout out to anybody and everybody who's a father. If you have a Faja, gold member, Austin Powers, Faja. If you have a Faja around in your life, whether that be your Faja or your step Faja, give them loves and appreciation for everything that they have done and will do for you. And as grandparents, if they're grandparents. Oh, yeah. He did win, El Cap. He did win the Growler, the OG version of the Growler. Yep, good knife. I like that they made the improvements that they did to it. It was just still not quite my jam. Like, it was too similar to other knives that I have, so I felt like it was a good one to pass along to somebody else that would use it more than I would. So yeah, it ended up being a good giveaway, and I'm glad Ed got it. It's also didn't I send you one of my shirts with that package? And I made you a wood turn gift, didn't I, Ed? Didn't I turn something, a bowl or something for you? I thought I did, if I remember right. If I didn't, let me know. I need to make you something. I need to actually start cranking out on the wave some big numbers of things, and and get with Stevie about putting some cool stuff, some wood turned stuff. Okay, well, Ed, I will make you something. But yeah, I need to crank out some good numbers of wood turned items of my skills and post them up on the EDC roundtable. I can do some Urban Woodsman wood creations and get those up on on that so that I can earn a little bit of spending money for Blade Show next year by selling a few wood pieces and get more of my stuff in people's hands that appreciate it. So, and again, I'm telling you guys, I think most of my pieces are going to be in that $25 to $35 price range because I just want my work to be appreciated. I am not out to make the big bucks with on with my wood creations on any website. I just, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Oh, the tall boy of all the Devo designs. The tall boy is pretty good. Yep, I did handle it at the show. It is pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a day. I gotta call the wife back, talk to the missus, figure out dinner plans if she wants to do something, possibly go somewhere. Although it pretty much costs a mini fortune when you've got 6 kids and 2 adults to try to eat out somewhere. But I don't know what she wants to do. But all right, everybody, take care. Have a blessed Father's Day weekend. I'll do my damnedest to try to remember to call my dad. I usually talk to him twice a week, anyways. But yeah, so I've spent some time with family. It's family weekend. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in a couple other live streams. Thanks for watching. Peace.